Okay, I am watching a documentary, The Vine of the Soul, and I just watched, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes, 140, I think. It's on YouTube. And there is a psychiatrist that I know from other videos on YouTube that I think he was born Jewish in Europe and had many problems before 5 years old, many traumas. I don't know much, but I know that he's a person with a heavy, thick story, and he would fit in the saying in Spanish, el diablo sabe más por viejo que por diablo. The devil is wiser because of the age more than for being the devil. And all the sayings in any language, of course, they have, but they are showing one thing that you feel that is like the obvious. And because it is a saying, you have to respect it. And then some people try to break it because they are against that. And then they are in favor of something like maybe it's not more positive, it's like natural at the end. Because people have put in all these barriers, all the laws, everything is just human constructors or constructions or construct social constructor. Well, so this I felt as a child when I was 6 years old, 7, 8. During that transition, studying the life of Jesus, being very committed, very empathetic, very feeling it, crying, watching movies, any kind of movie, connecting with everything, too much empathy, that it was painful. And I was not ashamed of crying in front of people because in other ways I was the leader of the pack or whatever. So I was this strange combination of a child being aware that when I was doing my mind control, I was like entering in the capsule and I stayed there. It's the child and the adult. So my face and my body is the adult and the one speaking is the child. But it's not like that. And that's why people lose their mind trying to explain something that is dual. Like you can only say it in a dual way when it's no dual. But if you cannot feel that, but everybody has felt something like that in their life. Like if you are a rock, there is a little bit of a pond on the rock. This pond is like a lake, and you are a big rock, and there is this pond. Why? It's like you are living your life, and then all of a sudden, out of your body and mind, something happened. Like it can be a pond, or you can make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because what we ignore is 1,000 million times bigger. It's infinite times bigger than what we know. That's what I can never understand why people are saying that we know of what can be known, but can be known till today. But don't we know many more things today than we would able to know 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago? But probably we have also lost all this because through the evolution, the ones that they became more savage, more wild, they would be saying, but why are you doing that? What is then you do it, and then they split, and they can survive maybe for 2,000 years, and maybe some kills the other. But That's the problem, that the ones who kill are the evolution. So that's what we are going to. This is like the atomic bomb. It tends to infinite in violence because it's the war and religion are the foundations of all civilizations. So, the vine of the soul is about ayahuasca. Through all these years that I was doing my mind control, growing as a child, seeing people being high on drugs, I didn't drink, I didn't take any drugs, nothing. And I was always the crazy guy. When I was 10, I was always doing crazy things and I was having lots of accidents. And in some of them, I really felt that I was gonna die and that I died because nothing happened. And I was feeling my death. And en siete picos. The mind control is the doors of the perception, part of the doors of the perception. It teaches you. The problem is that you have to transcend the mind control. I was practicing Silva's method of mind control, and it took me 20 something years probably to transcend mind control, and maybe at the same time I'm transcending my mind. But you cannot transcend your mind if you're not aware of your mind. That's the basic thing that most of the people, they are not at all, because they are speaking with God, and then that's boom, finished. Start in the next life or kill yourself. It's so easy. Kill your ideals, kill your idols, kill your ideas, kill your thoughts. If not, stay like that. There are billions and billions and billions of people that the evolution will go in one way or another. But if everybody's aware of their levels, maybe they could create like countries where everybody is happy. And by happy, I mean just not destroying more than what you need. So if you are recycling, that would be a good Airbnb planet. So this is a commercial because we are running out of assets. So we decided to put commercials, so Airbnb is sponsorizing this video. And so I was against drugs because I saw how ridiculous the people were. And the people who were high, they thought that I was high. And for me, they were not high, they were stoned. It was like some of them, they were losing the power of being a child because they didn't want to or whatever. Well, there are infinite reasons. I know all the reasons. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. So a friend of mine who was also anti-drugs, she told me about ayahuasca, and I said, but ayahuasca is a drug. And she said, no, it's a mother plant. Okay. And I had already tried mushrooms. And the thing is that from the very first time until I realized what it was going on, because at the beginning it's like, you are a child again. And I have this access to the child, but not in such a huge level, but nothing else changes. It was like unity. But the same unity that I can do without drugs because I was doing it with any of my experiences through my life. And that's why people thought that I was high. And they were asking me for the drug that I was taking. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Just because I'm drinking water, it doesn't mean that I cannot be dancing, jumping around all night long. So when I tried ayahuasca, I didn't know what to expect at all. Only my friend told me, but I didn't see anything special because she was already special. But I mean, my experience there was the best experience I had in my life until that moment. But not the best, like the only one. I had amazing moments in my life in survival mode many times. Probably all my ex-girlfriends know some of them. Like caffeine seaweed because I almost drowned by huge waves. And so I was there relaxed, practicing what I'm always practicing, my relaxing way, but I had already transcended my mind long before. But then I was like expecting what? So is this, it's like when you are a child, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And then he said, the shaman said, if you know any technique of mind control or anything like that, so then boom, the message connected with me. He's talking to me. And he said, so I had to pay attention on what he's gonna say. He said, forget about it. Disconnect everything. So I was just like expecting and hearing what he was gonna say. So I was still there and I was visualizing myself on a well, just holding out of the well, looking at him, what he's saying, but with my eyes closed. Of course, I was in the jungle, but it was not the jungle. But I was in the jungle. I don't know if it was because of the music or whatever, but I was the creek, and I was the vegetation, and I was the questions and the answers. But I was falling inside the well, like a child falling on the bed, falling in the vacuum. So it was living my life from all the perspectives, all my dreams, all together. And I was in a state so relaxed and emotional. So I was crying as a child of happiness of all this connection that I had many times before. But in that moment, it was like a whole big connection with everything. And then this experience, I tried to share it, but it was so many things that I didn't know how to connect them. That was 10 years ago. And I'm still learning things and verbalizing experiences that I lived in that moment. But I've been doing that all my life. But if you didn't do that all your life, maybe the experience that I got from ayahuasca was like, my God, everybody has to take this. When I was there, when I was like, my journey was finishing, it was like, I need everyone to take this because they become the best people in the world where everything is love and happiness and blah, blah, blah. But in a completely energetic way, and they saw me so enthusiastic about that they say, whoa, stop it. The next day, say, I'm gonna make a video about this. I say, no, because it is not. They're gonna think that you are crazy. They're gonna think that you are crazy, and there is like a timing for this, you know what I mean? And they were not, I think they were not very concerned, maybe a little bit, about the legality of because it's not illegal, or it was not illegal. But it's not legal either, it's probably illegal. And of course I didn't do that documentary, but today, watching this documentary, 1.5 minutes, and seeing how many absolutely different answers from people that I can connect, I can see very well where the rational limit was. They didn't stop falling. They didn't stop. That's why they were fighting the demons. Everybody's fighting the demons there. I didn't. And then some people, some shamans, that they knew shamans, because the man that I met, I'm not gonna say his name, but he knew what he was doing, and probably he knows what was going on. And he came to me and asked me if I was feeling good, and I said, I'm in heaven. And I've been talking about bad dreams, nightmares, bad trips. Don't panic. Well, you cannot see because of the light. There is Don't Panic Trip Master. I made many videos about this. And this t-shirt was done upon a dream about what I was doing in that moment. I was a dive master. It was 2003, 2004, more or less. 12 years before ayahuasca. And that's what I've been all my life. And I don't want to lose that power. And how do you lose that power? I don't know. I don't know, because I don't think I lost it when I was in the bank, but I was still learning a lot. And then the reality slapped in my face when I started knowing about the sphere of ayahuasca and all these things, this fake spirituality, people raping people, all these crazy things, that it was like being the biggest Christian in the world, and then you killing Jesus Christ. It would be something like that. Because it's not the plant, it's not the religion, it's not this, it's not that. Because there is not any two single people who tried it who had a same level experience. They are in a completely different levels. And the same people that wanted me, was asking me for drugs when I was dancing and being crazy with no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. That people, they are trying everything. All kinds of drugs and ayahuasca and everything. And they realize some things, yeah, but they are not they believe that they are not ready or they don't want to break that barrier that caused the trauma. And I don't know if this can be solved with hypnosis, but I think you have to be a very, 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 very special hypnotherapist. And I don't think I have met any. I don't say that they don't exist. I said that I haven't met any, and I met some. I'm very good, very deeply, very well. I mean, but not very good ones, because they are not aware of different levels of awareness. So how can you be installing a virtual operative system inside the Windows with a virtual machine or virtual box? It's the same thing. So those are the levels that Jerry Garcia was trying to explain, but he didn't know how to, because he was so good in writing songs and performing and everything. There is not a single person that can do absolutely everything. Oppenheimer couldn't run a hot dog stand. And he was like, yeah, I've been told most of them would say that. And I said, yeah, because I wouldn't be able. So what? And this one is better than me in mathematics. So what? And this, so what? Let's put them together. Who makes all the connections? This one. Okay, you are the coordinator. A quantum coordinator, a new job.